Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. It's me, Raul Alejandro Mendoza, or the Nerdy Chicano. Either way, how you say it, it's all good here. And of course, we're back for another installment of Between the Frames as we continue looking at Krzysztof Kieslowski's Dekalog. This beautiful thing right here from the Criterion collection. And I hope everyone is doing well. This should be coming out first week of August, so we're done with the Criterion sale at Barnes and Nobles. We have to wait for another flash sale, or we wait for November's second B&N Criterion sale. So hope everyone had a great. The journey through the Decalogue has been quite extensive, and it's been a lot of fun for me, and I hope it's been a lot of fun for y'all, because I've been enjoying watching these films. And on the last couple installments, I've talked about the first four, and today we're talking about Dekalog V. And I'm really excited because, of course, this is the one that is used for adaptation for a short film about killing, which I've never seen. And of course, we're going to talk about that on the next video. But for now, we're going to talk about Dekalog V, and I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed when it comes to this entry, but of course, I thank you all so much for watching the video if you're watching, and if you aren't subscribed, you should consider subscribing. Make sure you hit that notification bell and turn it on, so that way you can not miss a single piece of content that comes to the channel. And of course, if you are interested, you can get early access to this video and videos like this on the channel, like my reviews and my podcast episodes of The Cinema Condition, by going to www.patreon.com/thenerdychicano. And for $3 you are able to get early access, and $5 you get access to some video essays, as I'm finishing already. Well, I've already have finished, because this is going up in August, so our first video essay should be up by now. So, of course, I thank you all so much for that, and of course, it is not a requirement to sign up to the Patreon, but it is encouraged because it helps keep the lights here. And without further ado, let's talk about Dekalog V. Dekalog V looks at the fifth commandment, which is "Thou shalt not murder," or "Thou shalt not kill," and it is a very interesting look at this commandment. This is definitely Kieslowski's most political film in this miniseries right now. From what I've seen, this is apparently the one with the most outwardly political stance, as it tackles the death penalty. Throughout this film, we follow a lawyer who is we follow the lawyer and the killer, who is tasked with defending this man who kills, and he seems to have lost his way around at one point and caused him to go on this not a spree, but on this pattern of killing people. And he's had his trouble with the law, but while this is happening, the lawyer is also going through his rough patch of trying to find out how to properly defend this man in the courtroom, and trying to find out whether he is a good lawyer at all, or a good human at all, because he is defending someone like this. And of course, we kind of get into the actual social and psychological battle of what the death penalty is, and the idea of state-sanctioned violence, and whether it is an ethical thing to put somebody on death row. And Kieslowski just manages to create this narrative that analyzes the idea of murder, no matter if it is out of passion, out of fun, or out of government necessity. But he analyzes the idea of murder, and he presents such an interesting look at that through this film. I really like this movie. I mean, I kind of felt that 5 would have been one of those films that was either going to impress me or not, because a lot of what people have talked about a short film about killing had said, like, it's such a good movie, and its adaptation is also interesting if you go back to watch the Decalogue. So I watched this one and I was really impressed. First of all, just going into the technical aspect, Kieslowski has a very interesting look to this film that he sticks to throughout the whole film. It's a very filled with contrast, a very green look that makes it look like a world that's kind of on its edge of its seat. Warsaw is kind of in this very odd position where everybody seems to be battling with something, and I like the way that this film looks, and especially it's done by, of course, a new cinematographer on this film, because, of course, every single film on here is done by a different cinematographer. This one is done by Sławomir Idolzak. I butchered that, and I'm really sorry, y'all, but like I said, I don't know Polish, and I don't know how to pronounce Polish names, but I'm so sorry if I butchered that. But he does an incredible job at presenting the cinematography and being able to frame it, but also the way that he uses camera movements and able to use the lighting to his advantage is such an interesting way while you're matching it with the color palette in here. Piesler's score is, of course, fantastic, and I really gravitated towards this story. The story was really interesting, and it was one that I think throughout its runtime does not lose you at all. It's kind of like keeps on kind of trucking along to asking you, like, what's gonna happen? Is he really gonna get let off, or is he gonna go to jail? And I think Kieslowski does this thing that in the back of your mind, it's like he is gonna go to jail. But I'm presenting to you all what's wrong with having to send somebody to their death by the means of the government. And I think that that's just what excels in this story so well. The performances are done incredible as well. I really, really like the guy who played the lawyer. I've got to say, there was a lot of beautiful body language coming off of him, and he just excelled in his role so well. Also, the killer was able to embody this person who feels like a killer, who's somewhere off of, like something's off in his, in his head, and you can tell. And he just has this look to him that just matches his words that are coming out, and he does a great job at being able to tap into that dark side of this character. Overall, I mean, I think the film is fantastic, and the only downside I have to this film is that, of course, it doesn't match what I felt with the second one, but I also think that it has a little bit of a slight issue with deciding who do we want to pay attention to more, the killer or the lawyer. And I think that there's where it jumps a little bit too much, because like at the end when you find out that his sister was he accidentally murdered his sister, and all those things that we could have put a little bit more time into concentrating were not like expressed. But I think that that's just the only slight issue I have with this movie, is that it never really knows who to concentrate on more. But overall, I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 on my Letterboxd. I love this movie, and it's easily my second favorite in the Dekalog at the moment. Now, let's talk about this restoration. This is, of course, another one of these 4K digital restorations. I watched it on my Panasonic 4K player on a TCL 4K UHD TV, so this was upscaled a little past 1080p. So of course, like I've said, I love the look of this film, and I can tell you 100% this looks amazing. I mean, this film they put a lot of work into this movie, and you can tell that they heightened those colors, and they really played a lot with the contrast, and they were able to get that look that Dekalog that Kieslowski wants in this film. And they were able to heighten that, and they were able to, regrade this film so that way it looks even more like its clarity is bumped up. It just looks really good, and it reinforces that weird kind of atmosphere that Kieslowski builds within this movie. And I loved the way that they just presented that, and they kept the grain, and they made sure to, also just keep that like a bit of like a little shadowy effect in there, which was really interesting. I found that to be really, really unique. I've never seen a movie that did that before, and the only movie I had ever seen from Kieslowski, movies I've seen from Kieslowski were the Three Colors trilogy and a short film about love. So I had never seen him do this kind of thing. So I'm really, really interested to see how this look is going to be presented within a short film about killing. And when it comes to the audio restoration, I have no complaints whatsoever. Again, these Mono soundtracks sound fantastic. These Mono soundtracks do the job, and they do it well. they're able to keep that crisp audio, and the score sounds balanced and well. They're not doing anything amazing, but it is able to sound better than what it used to sound like. So I was able to find, find some old YouTube videos from the old Dekalog, which sounds very different from this new one, and I was just impressed with the audio restoration and how much care was given into making sure that the audio was presented well, just like the video. And like we keep reinforcing on the channel, if you're gonna give enough care to the video, you have to give enough care to the audio as well. And that's what they do with Dekalog V. It sounds great, it looks great. This is definitely, right now, it may not be my favorite in the series of how I like the movie, but this is definitely the best restoration in this set at the moment. And I am really, really, really excited to talk about a short film about killing next week when we get into that film. And of course, so we'll go into a short film about killing next week. The week after that we do Dekalog 6, and then the week after that we do a short film about love, and we'll continue for 7 through 10. But I had so much fun with this, and I love this movie, and I love this restoration, and I hope you all picked up the Dekalog during this last Barnes & Noble sale. So let me know if you did. But of course, if you want to keep up to date with me on social media, make sure you follow me at the Nerd Chicano everywhere. That means Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Serialized, Twitch, and TikTok, because I finally changed my username. I figured out what was the problem, and now I am the Nerd Chicano on TikTok. I'm making videos on there. They're pretty cool. So go and check that out if you like physical media and all that stuff. Check out all the stuff that I do with the Nerdcore by going to nerdcore.com and subscribing to us on YouTube, youtube.com/nerdcore, and following us on Twitch at twitch.tv/thenerdcore. Of course, all that wonderful stuff is in the bottle below, so you can go ahead and check that out. And of course, I had so much fun with this one, and I hope to see you all on the next one when we talk about a short film about killing. But in the meantime, I'm renowned cinephiles and wonderful scholars. I'll catch you on the next one. See you guys.